Okay, let's be real for a second. Have you ever sent some crypto and then just found yourself staring at the screen, hitting refresh over and over again? Yeah, we've all been there. It's that little spike of panic when you see pending and you start wondering if your money just, poof, disappeared into the digital void.
You're just thinking, where is it? Did I screw up the address? Is it gone forever? Well, take a deep breath, relax. Your money is almost certainly not lost. There's a really logical, step-by-step process happening in the background, and honestly, it's pretty cool once you get it.
And by the end of this little explainer, you're going to understand that whole journey. We're going to break down exactly what happens the second you click send, what these blocks everyone talks about actually are, and why those confirmations matter so much. And I promise, no boring stuff.
All right, so let's start at square one. Before we track the journey, we gotta know what a transaction even is. And at its core, it's way simpler than you probably think.
A crypto transaction is really just a secure message. That's it. It's a little piece of data that you sign with your private key, basically telling the network, hey, I authorize this.
And the message itself? Super simple. It's basically just saying, Wallet A wants to send this much crypto to Wallet B. But, and this is a big but, here's where things get really interesting. When you hit that send button, your crypto doesn't just zap over to the other wallet instantly.
Think about it like sending a message on WhatsApp. You type your message, hit send, it goes to WhatsApp servers, and then boom, it pops up on your friend's phone. Crypto is kind of similar. You hit send, and the message goes out to the network. The huge difference? There are no central servers. There's no WhatsApp, no big company in the middle. And that's a massive deal. It means no single point of failure. But it also means there's no customer service line to call.
So if there's no company server, where in the world does your transaction go? Well, it enters this fascinating place called the mempool. It's a kind of fancy word, but the meaning is really simple.
The mempool is basically a giant global waiting room. It's a memory pool where all the valid but not yet confirmed transactions from all over the world just hang out, waiting to be processed.
I mean, you can literally imagine all these little transactions just sitting there in line, elbowing each other like, bro, when's my turn? And your transaction is right there in the mix, just chilling with thousands of others.
Now that brings up a really important question. If everyone's in the same waiting room, why do some transactions get to cut the line while others have to wait? The answer, my friend, is fees. The miners or validators who process these transactions prioritize the ones that pay them the most. A higher fee is basically your ticket to the express line. Okay, so your transaction's in the waiting room, how does it get out? This is where the main character of our whole story comes in, the blockchain.
So what on earth is a block? Think of it like a shipping container. Instead of the network processing every single transaction one by one, which would be super inefficient, it bundles a whole bunch of them together into one of these containers.
And the process is pretty simple, really. Step 1, miners or validators look at all those transactions waiting in the mempool. Step 2, they pick a bunch of them, usually the ones with the highest fees, and pack them into a new block. And finally, step 3, they do some complex math to earn the right to add that brand new block to the end of the chain.
And this right here, this is the magic of blockchain. Once your transaction is inside a block, and that block is officially added to the chain, it's permanent. It is sealed. There's no edit button. There's no undo. There's no, oops, bro, please reverse it. It is locked into history forever.
So that leads us perfectly to the final piece of the puzzle, a word you see everywhere, confirmations. This is the ultimate proof that your crypto made it safely to its destination.
The second your transaction gets bundled into one of those blocks we just talked about, you get your very first confirmation. So one confirmation just means, hey, congratulations, your transaction is now officially part of the permanent record. That's all it is.
But you've definitely seen this, right? Why do exchanges or wallets sometimes make you wait for 2 or 6 or even like 30 confirmations? If it's already in a block, shouldn't that be enough? Well, not exactly.
Here's the key thing to remember. More blocks equals more security. Every single new block that gets added to the chain after the one your transaction is in acts like another layer of security. The deeper your transaction gets buried, the more impossible it becomes for anyone to ever change it. It's like pouring more and more concrete on top of it.
Now, all this talk about blocks and waiting might make you wonder, why do some of my transactions confirm in seconds, while others feel like they take an eternity? Well, it all comes down to how different blockchains are built. and this constant balancing act between speed and security. Let's just take a quick look. You've got Bitcoin, the original. It's slow, with new blocks only coming about every 10 minutes, because its #1 priority is being unbelievably secure. Then you've got Ethereum, which is faster and built for things like smart contracts. And then you have networks like Solana, which are designed for pure speed, making transactions feel almost instant. Different chains, different goals.
And that brings us right back to where we started, back to that feeling of dread while you're staring at the pending screen. What are the real reasons your transaction sometimes feels like it's stuck in limbo?
Well, it usually comes down to one of three things. One, the whole network is just super busy. Think of it like a traffic jam on the digital highway. Two, and this is the most common one, your transaction fee was just set too low, and miners are picking all the higher-paying jobs first. And three, which is kind of the same thing, the mempool is just totally overcrowded. Your transaction isn't broken, it's just waiting its turn.
And that's really the thing to remember next time you're feeling that anxiety. The blockchain is just a system of rules. It doesn't care that you're in a hurry. It doesn't care about your emotions. It only cares about math and logic.
So there you have it. Now you know what a transaction is, how it gets into a block, and why confirmations make it secure. But that leads to the next big question. In our next explainer, we're tackling the one everyone wants to know about. Why do crypto fees even exist? And what on earth causes them to randomly explode? Trust me, you are never going to look at gas fees the same way again. Thanks for tuning in.